Today we're talking about the McKinsey 7S framework. In the 1980s, it was developed by Tom Peters and Robert Waterman. Now let's start by how can we implement this framework to get a positive outcome. This framework is used in internal analysis of a business plan, identifying strengths and weaknesses of an organization, aligning departments and processes within your company, and ensuring that all parts of the organization are working in harmony. It's also important to note that this framework is particularly useful in the prediction of future effects or changes within your company. It helps you search possibilities when implementing a new proposed strategy and how it can affect the overall organization. Let's have a look at the 7 elements involved in this framework. It's important to note that all of these 7 elements are interdependent, and all of them must be aligned in order to implement a certain kind of change, meaning that any change in one of these elements will definitely affect all of the others. These elements are divided into hard elements and soft elements. The hard elements are mainly composed of structure, strategy, system, while the soft elements are staff, skills, style, and shared values. And now let's talk about the hard elements. It's important to note that the hard elements are more of elements that are fixed and hard to change. Let's start with strategy. Strategy is a consumer-led approach. It's a deep recognition that achieving vision depends on meeting the needs of customers. Skills are distinctive capabilities that the staff hold and possesses, which are the basis of the firm's ability to create a differential advantage and create its competitive advantage as well. Style refers to the behavior of top management and in particular how effectively they communicate the values of an organization. Finally, the shared value refers to the vision that unites challengers and gives direction to all people working within the organization. So how do we apply the framework into an organization? The first step is to identify the areas that are not effectively aligned. And we can do that by looking at the 7S and asking a list of questions in order to help us determine where is the problem. Step 2 is determine the optimal design of their organization. And this is done by setting goals to make the active plan easy. Step 3 is deciding where and what changes should be made. Step 4 is making the necessary changes. And step 5 is the continuous review of the 7S framework. Now let's take a look at some example questions that helps determine the organization where they lie in each element. Strategy. What is the organization trying to accomplish? How does it use its resources? How does the organization compete? Structure is more about how the organization is organized. What is the reporting and working relationship? Is it hierarchical, flat? How are decisions made in the organization? Structure is more about how the organization is organized. What is the reporting and working relationship? Is it hierarchical, flat? How are decisions made in the organization? System. What is the primary technical system used by the organization? How is progress and evolution tracked? Staff. What is the size of the organization? What are the staffing needs? Are there any gaps in the required capabilities or resources? Skills. What are the skills used to deliver the core products or services? Are these skills sufficient? Are there any skill gaps, and how these skills are monitored, assessed, and improved? Shared values. What are the founding values that the organization was built upon? What is the vision to get there? And what is the ideal versus the real values? What do these values play in our daily lives? Style. What is the management leadership style? How do they behave? How do employees respond to the management leadership?
Created using Powtoon.